3, 2, 1. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Boy, it has been productive. We're going to talk about that. Feel free to jump into the comments. Tell me that you're here. Hello, Vicky. Welcome. We're using the desktop, so we can throw comments up on the screen like this if you're a first-time watcher, viewer. Hey, Chrissy, welcome. Happy Friday, which is almost Saturday for you guys, right? For my UK viewers. We are international for those who are new. So hop into the comments. Even if you're watching the replay, be sure to share and let people know. I need to pop in real quick. Oh, this is nice. Well, you know what? I haven't seen this before. So you guys want me to show you what I'm seeing right now on my phone? Because this is kind of cool. I like this. Chrissy says she wrote a blog today and put it on her website. Very nice, Chrissy. Awesome. Feel free to share the link in the comments there. Hey, Erica, welcome. What are you guys up to today? It's Friday. I know I am so ready for the weekend. Ona, hello. Everyone jumping in. This is awesome. You guys, perfect. Tamika, perfect. So we're going to talk about what people want from you. What are they asking for? And even if you're watching the replay, jump into the conversation. But if you think you know, or you want to just throw something out there, go ahead, drop it in the comments. There you go, boom. I kind of changed this up a little bit. You guys, let me know what you think about this. I'm going to watch the replay myself and see how I like this. I think it looks cleaner on here. We can talk about why I changed that if you really want to know. But let me just show you this, which is kind of cool. So on my phone, I wanted to make sure that I pinned the comment, right? For those who are new, that way they know where to find the show, which is at edtalktv.com. They know where they can become a guest, because you guys should become guests. It's free, and it allows you to get heard and be seen. And so that's all there. And then also my Check with Ed monthly. So it's all right there, right? I am not, Erica. Thank you for pointing that out. I am not on the Facebook Creator app right now. I have the phone in hand, and I'm going to show you something in a second. But right now, I'm actually using my Ecamm Live. So I'm on the computer using a third-party program, going live through Facebook. You can find this tool and all the tools that I use and training, if you want, over at edtalktv.com. Now I have to list my page. Yeah, exactly. So the reason I changed this is because as I was looking at, so here's the thing, you guys, when it comes to your branding and the look and just being creative, right, is that you want to, oh, no worries, definitely catch the replay. So when it comes to thinking about your branding and everything, and when you think you have it, right? We're always fine-tuning. That's what we talk about all the time. If you need to watch previous episodes, feel free later. Not now. Not now. Hold your horses. Later over at edtalktv.com. But the reason I did this, hey, Whitney, welcome. You're just in time. The reason I changed this up, and I'm actually, at least right now, loving the look. It looks a lot cleaner. Is because I went through and I was looking at previous episodes, and I was looking at the banner, and I was thinking, okay, on the Creator app, so if I went live from my phone, I had this already, and I thought, let me see if I can change that up, because what I was not digging for long-term look, that is that I didn't, when I'm looking at the previews or the replays, I didn't like having the one whole bar across the bottom. I mean, it looked okay, but for me, it almost feels, now that I've seen it so much, it feels dated, right? Maybe it didn't, but it did for me. And so I thought, okay, let me try this. So about 20 minutes ago, I changed this up. Hey, Mindy, welcome. Happy Friday. Pop you up on the screen there because we're on the desktop. Boom. I still have to go back and watch live. Yeah. See, you guys are awesome. You guys are troopers. You not only show up and deliver and engage with each other, but then you also watch the replays, even if you miss them, which is, it blows my mind. So anyway, so I switched this up. We'll see how I like it. I have to watch the replay. Why am I telling you this? Why do you care? Because that's what you have to do. You have to test. You have to put things out there and test them out. See what you like, see what you don't like, and then go from there. The hearts are smaller let's see, wait, I think the hearts, etc. look smaller. Down here, yes, that's going to be smaller right now. Check this out though. If I wanted to, look at that. I'm on the computer, so I can make it bigger. I can move it around. See how I can move it around? Put it up here, over here. I kind of made it a little smaller just because I thought maybe, let me put it back here. I thought maybe, and see how I'm like trying to make it sure it's like just right. I thought it would be cool to have it just a little bit smaller than this so that it doesn't compete with it. Again, it's always just trial and error and seeing what happens. And that's what you need to do, whether you're going live, whether it's your website, whether it's a flyer. I mean, whatever it is that you're doing and that you're creating, you have to test it and see what works and keep coming back to it, right? You have to keep looking back at what you've done to see what you want to go for in the future. So what am I looking at on my phone? Well, I went in to the Creator app on my phone just because I wanted to see this broadcast and pin that comment at the top. And I've never done this through Creator app, so maybe this was built in already. But this is really cool because normally when you're on a Facebook Live, you see this. Let me see if I can get the glare. You see the normal commenting, right? Like that's a normal thing. However, in my Facebook Creator app, it shows this, which is hard to see. I'm trying not to like mess up the coloring here, but it basically has over here your comment, right below it a big square that says pin, and then on the side over here it has two other squares that say mute and block, but it's clearly indicating right there. Tammy, welcome. We were just talking about branding and how I changed this all up to have a little fresher look, and for longevity as well, because the banner at the bottom, if you guys don't know, Tammy's branding strategist, so that's why I'm explaining it real quick. The banner at the bottom just felt a little dated to me now that I've looked at all my replays and kind of went through it, and we're getting close to episode 50, and I just thought, let's freshen things up and kind of go for a cleaner look. So far I'm liking this. But the Creator app has a really cool option here just to see you guys and pin it and have it a little easier. So I think that's awesome. Again, it might have been built in, but I haven't actually utilized that feature of it, so I'm liking it. If it wasn't built in, then props to you, Facebook. You guys did good with that. So perfect. Look, everyone's saying hi to Tammy. Awesome. So before we jump into today's content, which is going to be talking about what do people want to see from you, and at any point in time, feel free to throw it in the comments. Even if you're watching the replay, let us know because it's an open conversation, right? Like if you're new around here, this is a talk show around business, tech, and the user experience. You're not only talking with me and hanging out with me, but you're also talking and commenting with each other, which is awesome. That's why we always love the comment, the love, and of course the share, but commenting is the big one for you guys. So when it comes to today's episode, we will jump into what people want from you, but definitely feel free to jump in there and say what you think people want from you, because it's going to be different for everyone, okay? There's going to be one common link. There's probably more, but we'll talk about one common link, but it's going to be different for everyone. Now, let me talk real quick. Tammy, I love that. Yes, this way. How many of you guys use Snapchat? Maybe I should back up and say how many of you know what Snapchat is? Then we can get into that. Any of the oh yeah, see Erica, you got to check your phone. Try your phone. See if the phone will work for you, because I know the iPad's not, and it's not going to be working on the computer. So we know those two are out, but hopefully it will come to you, because Creator app is still rolling out, I think, to a lot of people. As we discovered yesterday, we like right here on the show got the option to go and bring guests on. It was a little buggy still, but at least we can bring guests on, so we can do that on the fly if we need to. My kids do, yes and no. Okay, cool. So yeah, so when it comes to Snapchat is still trying to hold its head above water, right? Like I have it. I don't use it a whole lot. I use it mostly for filters, just like you would use Instagram for their filters. That's kind of what I use for it. Ona, can you tell us what you use it for? Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You guys, I will tell you right now, I try not to butcher anybody's name, but sometimes it's going to happen, and I apologize in advance. You downloaded it, and son wanted you to. Okay, I know about it. My kids play on it, but I have learned about it. Okay, so yeah, so perfect from MIA, and I'm going to mention something about that. So with Snapchat, I downloaded it. I use it for filters mostly, and sometimes to have just fun messages go back and forth, which is funny because I don't actually message the people through Snapchat. I actually save it to my device and then send it as a text message. I know it's really weird, but that's just how our conversations go. So this is interesting. Okay, so this is interesting. You guys want to know what it is? Because I'll tell you right now, it doesn't relate to Snapchat, but I'm looking down at my phone, and the Creator app is saying that I can. So, Erica, if you're up for it, it says that you're green. It says that I could bring on a guest. I have no idea how that would work because I'm not using the Creator app, but it's showing that you're able to be a guest. I don't know. That's really cool. If that's available, that is awesome. But again, I'm using my computer. Therefore, technically, the only way I could bring guests on would be through the Skype because I'm using Ecamm Live. But the Creator app is teasing us and showing me that there is an option here. So I don't know. Just saying. This is what happens, guys. Like, this is what I do, right? I research and I just test things out and I look and I'm like, cool. It's kind of a squirrel moment, but it's informative, right? So when it comes to Snapchat, it's one of those things that, you either use it or not spooky, right? And so it's so funny, Erica, it just went away for you. Oh, your author page showed up the first time, but not like just now, which is weird. Vicky, it's playing with you again, Ed. Yeah, I know. I can test if you want for a second. Let me see if it will do anything for your previous one. Nope. Okay. I always like to ask prior to actually tapping on something because you just never know. Now it went away, Erica, so thank you for always wanting to be a guinea pig. Weather's horrible, reception. Yeah, no, I know. Weather for most people is really bad. Right now, it's decent outside. I say decent, but it's like cloudy and rainy, but it's not raining at the second. So there you go. When it comes to Snapchat, so Snapchat is definitely kind of going, underwater for a second because, Facebook and Instagram are kind of taking all of their stuff, right? And then from there, we're going to pop this one up on the screen so I can read that in a second. From there, they're trying to do all of these things, right? And to try to stay up, hip, ready to go. They made a huge update to their app. Ona, I would be interested to see, do you like the new update or not? I'm going to read your comment here. Are you Snapchat mostly when I want to show my traveling, but I don't want to post it to my target audience? Oh, that's an interesting feature. Yeah, that's cool. Do you want our snow? No, I don't want your snow, Vicky. Keep your snow. Our Sierras have snow. Our mountaintops have snow. So Snapchat is going to be different for everyone, right? Like, it's not just like a Facebook or an Instagram where you figure out one thing that you want to go with and just do it. Like, you can do whatever you want and however you want. It's like Instagram stories and Facebook stories because they basically took it from Snapchat, so that's why. But Snapchat has better filters, in my opinion, and it's just fun. But here's the thing. So they made this huge update that changed the layout for a lot of people, and they weren't really happy about it. Now, I will say, welcome, Mickey. I'm just going to see, Snapchat is definitely struggling. However, I still use it as a test audience because once I post something, if it does well there. Okay, now let me ask you a follow-up question, Anna, is what about, how does your audience find you? Because it's a little harder on Snapchat to find people, right? So I'm curious if you're testing with them, which is awesome, but how do they know to find you? That's another question there. I'm using my earbuds with iPhone and can't hear you at all. But when I switch to Audible books, I hear them just fine. Oh, Mickey, you got to be able to hear me. Everyone else is hearing me, so I know it can't be me, at least at not this moment. So when it comes to Snapchat, they made this update. And to be honest, since I don't use it as much, I don't care about the update. I mean, the update seems all right. Like, I have things over here, I have the normal Snap here, and then I go over here to conversations. Like, to me, it's no big deal. But Tammy says, read his lips. Tammy, I wouldn't be surprised if Mickey could pull out some really good quotes throughout this broadcast from just reading my lips. No joke. She is amazing. So you have to have your audience elsewhere and then send them to Snapchat. Okay, perfect. So that's what you're doing. Yeah. So sending them to Snapchat. Mickey says she's trying. You guys are awesome on a Friday. I love it. So when it comes to the new update, for me, it's not really a big deal. But again, I'm not a hardcore user of Snapchat. So a lot of the users who are, they're like freaking out and they really want it to be changed back. I'm just looking at Mindy's comment. I tried Snapchat, but it was too much to try and keep up with. Yep. And I need to do better with Facebook and IG, Pinterest first. Yeah, you got to have your priorities and lay them out. It's highly unlikely that Snapchat will be your primary audience. Not impossible, but highly unlikely. That is a key. Yeah, that's really key when it comes to that. So Snapchat made that update. All of their users, I'm going to say all of their users because I'm just going to, there's a lot. I mean, they have a petition going and everything. They want it to be changed. Snapchat has basically said, well, that's not happening. But they are testing out a new feature, which is kind of about time, but a new feature, which is why we're talking about Snapchat and getting to the random news here. Ed needs someone in the corner of his screen doing sign. You guys are killing me on a Friday. That is hilarious. You guys, when we blow up and have the whole studio backdrop and everything, we'll have whatever you guys want. You make a list, send it over. I'll have the executive producer start building it out and factoring that into the budget, and we'll do the dang thing. Okay, we got this. So Snapchat now has the option. Well, actually, let me back up. It does not have it yet. Pump the brakes. Hold up. Truth is, a lot of Snapchat-like features have been integrated into. Yeah, Erica. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so Facebook and Instagram, which we know Facebook owns Instagram, has implemented a lot of Snapchat features into what they call stories. But what's cool about it is is no big deal for you. Okay, cool. However, I do find it using it less. Yeah, which is interesting that you say that you're using it yet less. Let me ask you guys before I tell you about the Snapchat feature. I know we're kind of going back and forth. But what about social media in general? So whether you're a Snapchatter, a Facebook user, Instagram user, Twitter user, whatever, you can specify if you want. But are you noticing that you're using social media less? And then you can say which platform that might be. But are you noticing that you're using social media less? Because that's a topic that's come up, and we'll mention where and why in just a second. Can we come over the pond and visit you all? Yes, Chrissy. All UK viewers, when we blow up, we'll have an international party. I'll put that on the list for the producers and be like, listen, if you guys want to pick us up, here's one major requirement. We have to have a show where we bring our international friends, and we can also do a show in their country as well, because why not? I mean, we might as well do it in both places. So one of the Jenners lost. Oh yeah, that was a big one. We'll mention that in a second. Post-it notes. Yep. I try to be international with it so I don't spend my whole life scrolling. Yeah, intentional. See, I'm on international still. Nope. Still using social media. Snapchat does have a feature where you can post where you purchase things. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, but that's, yeah, with over 10,000 users. Okay. So that's another thing. If I remember, I'll kind of talk about that too here in a second. So, okay. Real quick with this comment, what is it? Kylie Jenner? I think it was Kylie Jenner. One of the Jenners. I don't know. She basically was fed up with Snapchat's update as well and sent out a tweet. I forget what it said, but it was basically like, I'm not even opening up Snapchat. And then, of course, their stock plummeted, which they can't say for sure that it's tied to that tweet, but it was a big news story, which goes to show you that, when you have high profile people, celebrities, whatever you want to call them, when you have that going on, then you have that as a possible crisis that can happen afterwards, right? And then what I wanted to mention here, going back to how Snapchat has the swipe up feature where you can put in a link or whatever. Instagram has that too, and I think it's the same thing. You have to have 10,000 followers followers around you. I will say that is the most annoying requirement, I guess, ever, because to me, maybe it's because they're in this beta mode about it, I don't know. But when it comes to the fact that I have to have that many people in order to be able to have a swipe up for a link, I think that's ridiculous. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think that's ridiculous. Because again, if you're trying to be about the conversation and you're not trying to be about how many followers can you get, whether they're real or not, then why do you have that requirement? Why is it that we have to have that many people? Because now you're setting up an expectation of people not having, or you're saying it the wrong expectation, right? Like you're making it so that people want to go out and get their followers any way they can because they want that feature. It's just weird. When you have hope. Yeah, I know, the dog's barking. This is what happens live. You guys, thankfully they're on the other side of the house right now. Hopefully they don't come over here. But there's like little jackrabbits that run around the outside where I'm at, and so they go crazy about them. So, side squirrel moment. And so let me go back to the comments because I think there was another one. No, with activity growing the business, I definitely. So going back to Snapchat's new feature that is not out yet, they're testing it, is now they're going to allow you, well, they're testing it, where you can go hands-free when recording. So if you're not familiar, let me just show you real quick. When you go to Snapchat, when you're on Snapchat, this is what it looks like, okay? So, hey, what up? There we go. So right here is the button that you want to press and hold if you're recording something. So I'm going to do this backwards just to show you. So right now, see how it's recording me and it's doing the circle around? Well, the new feature that they're testing would allow you to swipe down and then it would actually hold it so that way you don't have to keep your finger there. So the swipe down would allow it to record for the 60 seconds. Therefore, you wouldn't have to sit there and hold. So then that way, when you're on your phone, you can hold it like you normally would, straight out, without having to be like this, holding it down. If that makes sense. I'm just catching up on the comments. Oh, yes, you have to hold it down to record. Yeah, so how many of you guys, we'll bring it back to something that you might already know, Facebook Messenger. How many of you guys use Facebook Messenger and use the audio feature, the voice memos, right? How many of you guys use that? Oh yeah, Snapchat does not, but I think Snapchat does for the, going back to the link comment, I think Snapchat does though have a requirement in order to get the link because I can't remember the number. I want to say it's 10,000 as well, or they're just allowing it to certain accounts. But I know that I don't have it, so there's that. The button on Facebook Stories was sticking a while back. Yeah, perfect. Messenger Audio, yes. So with Messenger Audio, if you use, awesome, you guys are using it, cool. So if you're using Facebook Audio, when you go to send a message, same type of thing. You have to hold it down the whole time that you're recording. It's a pain in the rear because you're like, okay, let me press and hold, and you only get a minute and then it's gone. So it's one of those things that thankfully Snapchat in this case sees that their users, again, paying attention, right? Sees a need that their users are trying to go hands-free as much as possible because think about it. You can extend your arm a little bit more and hold your phone better without having to do this weird thing with your thumb to try to hold down the thing, right? So it's one of those things that you have to pay attention to what people are doing. How are they using the product? How are they taking part in your services? Well, if you have a course, what worked for them, what didn't. You've got to ask for that feedback and have those reviews and review them yourself and see what people are saying. It's a pain in the rear when it doesn't release and you lose the whole minute. I know, I did that today too. Thankfully, it wasn't important, but I know. A lot of my friends use the audio message feature, but I don't really like it. Yeah, it's one of those weird ones. Can't wait to master bots as well. Yeah. So, okay, so that was that, right? This all ties in, by the way, you guys, to what we're going to talk about. Whoops, there we go. So it all ties in. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch over because I'm using my computer. I'm going to switch over to my web browser. I use Chrome, and show you guys my Instagram profile, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. So let me switch over. Boom. Oh, yay, there's more Ed. Woo, awesome. So just looking at this right here, I will say this is it was not planned, but it looks cool. Versus when you go down here, it kind of gets a little crazy, a little messy, and it's like all over the place. Let me tell you, I am not all about my Instagram. I'm not one of those that's going to sit there and try to make it look super cool and have everything planned out and laid out. Why? Because Instagram is not my focus. Facebook is my focus. So for me, whatever I post on Instagram is there, and it's just there if you want to look at it, cool. If not, doesn't matter. I will use Instagram stories more than I post on Instagram, but I forget who was talking about this. I think it was actually in one of our interviews here on the show. If not, it was through discussion. So if you know who you are, here's your credit. That they were talking about how they use Instagram for their purposes. They're making their Instagram profile more of their behind the scenes, right? Which is what you're seeing right here on my profile. And so here you are. Hey, oh, I can see you, Mickey. Cool. So when it comes to my Instagram, I'm starting to, I use it and remember, but I am on Facebook. Yeah, so Facebook's my jam. Instagram is just there to have. And now I've kind of shift my focus and I'm trying to do more of like behind the scenes type stuff because these are the moments that I like and that's what you're wanting to see, right? Because, and you tell me, I don't know, maybe you don't want to see these moments, but this here, this one, we talked about this on a previous episode, those ones get a lot more of attention than say maybe, this one or even this one, because yeah, it's almost a quote, but still it's not quite there, right? Like anybody can just post those. But it's these other ones that are getting more attention. We're going to talk about that. Let me look at the comments here. Can you hear me now, Mickey? That's awesome. Tammy says, I have recently been tracking my numbers on all social media, and that has made a difference. Yeah, being aware makes a huge difference, right? Overall, my media, I have 5,000 total followers now, and that makes me feel a little bit better about gaining some traction instead of just looking at one social media stream at this point. Yeah, and you bring up a great point, Tammy, about how you want to make sure that you're aware of the numbers. Oh yeah, see, I forgot to take off the banner here, so that's why this one's still here. See how it's different? But watch, I can just do this. Boom, now it's gone. So when it comes to your numbers, remember, don't be obsessed with your numbers. This is for everyone. I'm not talking to Tammy about this. This is to everyone. Don't be obsessed with your numbers and your followers. Look at, guys, 724 followers. Yay, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I need to be 800. I need to be 1,000. I don't care. I really don't. Because I know some of these are bots, which means they're not real people. They're just computer programs. But remember, you don't want to be about the numbers in that sense, but you do want to be aware and track, like Tammy was saying, track your numbers because, listen, you may think that Instagram is your jam and that's where you're posting and putting all this time and energy and making your profile look awesome and everything, but then you realize that you're not really getting the attention from your target audience because they're over on Facebook where your business page is pretty much dead because you're not paying attention to it, right? Like, you have to know where it is. Yeah, engagement is everything and value. Totally. We're going to pop that one right up there. So you have to make sure that you not only go with the platform that you like, but also keep track of what are the numbers telling you. Like, where are people going and what are they doing? And it can be also within the platform. So I'm going to talk about this post here. Well, I'll talk about this one too. Just a recap from the other day. This post was literally a last minute post that I was like, you know what? I'm in the zone. I'm doing some edits. Let me just bring it up close here. I'm doing some edits. And I'm just going to go ahead and post this because I thought this was fun. I don't have my stand-up desk with me, and I didn't want to sit anymore. So I was like, let me figure out what I can do. There were some cookbooks here. These are not mine. I don't have cookbooks. And when I put this together, I was like, you know what? This would be a fun post. Let me just throw it up on Instagram. I didn't put too many hashtags. I just kept it super straightforward. Like I said, it was totally last minute. I didn't even tag, like you can't see up here, but right up here is a new cover. Actually, I have one in my bag. Let me switch over and show you guys because this is good marketing as well. Man, you guys are getting all the goods on a Friday. So let me go ahead and see. This is why people need to comment and share and love it up because you guys get all this bonus material. And this is live training 5 days a week. It's crazy. So what you can't see on that picture clearly because it's kind of blurred out is this really cool, can't really see it, shout outs to Sonic, it's a local provider, internet provider, it's hard to see right there. But what this is it's a little teeny thing like that big that you put over your webcam on your computer and then it slides back and forth so that you can close your webcam when you're not using it and then open it, close, open. Almost like that old Mervyn's commercial. Probably nobody remembers Mervyn's, but open. There you go. So that is what you're seeing there. So let me go back to my screen. Boom, right there. So that's what you're seeing right up here. And I totally forgot because it's brand new and I just put it on there. But look, immediately Sonic came up and asked, can we repost this? I didn't even tag them, you guys. I didn't even tag them. They noticed that they liked this picture a lot, and then they realized that that was their thing. That was their little cover. So, right? Everyone loves Mervyn's, but how can you not, right? Mervyn's is awesome. So this was, and I was shocked. I was like, sure. I haven't really had anybody ask me to repost any of my photos. Like, you know, it was really weird. Link for this privacy cam cover, please, Ed. You're slipping. I know. Actually, I don't even know if I can get one up in my store, you guys. I don't know if they specifically have them for sale, but I'll take a look because I love it and I think it's cool. So I will do that. I will put that on my list and then let you guys know in the comments what happens. So anyway, that was a random last minute post, not even planned, maybe brightened up things a little bit and then posted it. Not too many hashtags, boom. Already had all of these comments and instant love, like blew me away, right? So what does that say? Well, let's keep diving into this a little bit more before we jump into anything. This was from the conference that I was at on Wednesday where I was speaking about social media and web design and helping out with one of my clients. Notice that obviously I did not take the picture. This is my phone, cup of coffee, some paperwork that I had talked to one of the attendees about. They gave that to me and this was a moment that somebody at the event was like, you know what? Stay right there. Let me capture this moment of you multitasking. And I was like, okay, because I'm always the guy who captures the picture, right? Like you guys don't get to see me in action in that environment. Then I did a video here, 126 times it's been played, over 20 comments. Like This video just shows you a little piece. It's a 1-minute video, I think, of what I talked about at the conference, which this has been getting a lot of attention, which is awesome. Not just on Instagram, but in person. I've had people already reach out. I've had a lot of emails and calls about speaking. It's been fantastic. Now, this one is interesting. It doesn't have very much action going on in this sense, but because I just posted it today. But what I want to point out here is this comment right here. I love these new pictures you're posting. They seem to show your personality better, even though I don't know you at all. God bless. And then when you look at just this part of my profile, at least I can get that and I feel that, right? So that brings us to the question of what are you showing? Like what do people want to see from you? Well, let's get it back over here. We're going to flip it. There we go. So what do people want to see from you? Well, just from those examples, we know that we want to see an insider's view, right? We know that from going live, that's what people want to see too. They want to see us. I mean, look at you guys show up. You're here, even if you're watching the replay. I hope you comment so I know that you watched the replay so I can have a conversation with you. But you show up, right? You want to know what's going on here, right? What is your brand? What are your people saying about you? Yes, exactly, Tammy. So I'm going to pop that on the screen here so you guys have that. So it's those things that you want to ask yourself and figure out, okay, if you're going to be on social media, multiple social media platforms, cool, but what's your plan? Like, what works where? What are you doing? And maybe you don't know yet. Maybe you're just starting out, which is fine. Maybe you've been in business for a long time and you still don't know. That's fine. This is the whole point of this show, this episode, is to plant the seed and get you to realize that you need to pay attention to what people are telling you. And they're going to be telling it to you in the comments. Remember, the magic happens where? In the comments, which is why I always tell you to comment, whether it's my show or somebody else's. You have to do that because that's where you're going to find your answers. That's where you're going to find your next idea. That's where you're going to find your next client. That's where you're going to find your next inspiration for whatever. Like, that's where it's at. And so you have to understand that, now I'm starting to make this little shift with Instagram where I'm going to try to make it more of like the inside view versus like being all businessy, which is what I started it as, right? Because it feels like it almost feels like that's my Snapchat, right? Here we go, tying things in, is that if you're not about Snapchat, that's fine. You don't have to be on Snapchat. It's a lot harder to work with Snapchat because you don't have an audience like you do here. Like Ona was saying that you have to direct your audience over. So if you're just starting out, Snapchat's not going to be the best place for you to go. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use it and save that content and post it elsewhere. You certainly can, but just don't feel like you have to be over there. So for me, Instagram is now feeling more like my own personal Snapchat because I now can feel a little more comfortable with sharing those raw moments, right? And kind of diving a little deeper. So that could work for me. Whereas Facebook, it's like, you're going to get pretty much everything. Well, and if it's my Facebook business page, you're just mostly going to get Ed Talk TV because that's our thing, right? Like that's what we do. And then you have your other things set up. So like I have a part of Check with Ed Monthly, which is my subscription, tech support / business support, all that kind of stuff. That has an aspect of it, or I should say an element of that is a Facebook group that allows me to easily share things with you quickly, right? But it's not only a Facebook group. There's other things that I provide outside of that. There's my Facebook personal profile, where I not only share what I'm doing in my personal life, but I also share my wins here with business. Like today, I had an awesome review from Lindsay. If you guys didn't see that, it was great. And I shared that on my personal profile because it was good. And it was awesome. And I wanted to share that with my friends and family. Like, it's that kind of stuff that you have to think about. What platforms are you interested in? What platforms are your audience hanging out at? And then from there, what content works best there, right? Like Facebook, we know, is going live. I hate to tell you, but going live is what Facebook wants right now. So that's primarily what you want to give it, right? In order to get your posts seen, in order to get conversations going, that type of stuff is what's going to work. That's what you got to look at. I'm just looking at the comments here. Absolutely. I share raw moments on Snapchat only and personal IG. Yeah, see, there you go. Much more intimate group. Yep. And so that's the kind of stuff that you have to think about, is what's appropriate and where. And it's a lot of work for sure. But once you figure it out, or at least have some kind of a footing there, then you're good. Then you can do it, And again, it's not like you have to, on Instagram, you get 30 hashtags. You don't have to go through and add 30 hashtags every time. And then there's also ways that you can, simplify that to make it easier so you don't have to always retype them. But that's a whole nother story. So when it comes to what people want from you, they want those raw moments. They want to know that you're human. They want to know that you're just like them. Like that's the biggest takeaway that you can get from this episode, is that people want to know who you are. And it takes a while. Look at me. It took me a while to get comfortable with being live in front of people, in front of replay viewers. The other day when I spoke in front of over 100 people, all local businesses and nonprofits, because I was nervous. I was like, I can't screw this up. I got to do good. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, what? Let me jump on Facebook Live real quick just to get my nerves, shake them off and feel a little more comfortable, Vicky knows, she was there, and a few others. So it's that type of stuff that, doing the work now, doing this right here is helping with everything else in my life, which is why I share it with you, right? Which is why I encourage you to go live. It doesn't mean that you have to get crazy and have all this banner stuff and have a show and all that. No. It just means that you have to start. You have to start pushing yourself a little outside your comfort zone. Now, I'm telling you this because I'm also telling myself this, because trust me, there's other things in my life that I'm like, ooh, no, we'll just stay over here where it's comfortable. We're good. Thanks. See you later. So I have to tell you guys, so I tell myself that as well. Yes, just be you and people will love authenticity. Exactly, Vicky. Exactly. So much easier than public speaking. Yeah, Chrissy, isn't that fun? Funny how that is? That going live, you guys, so even if you're watching the replay, oh, thank you, Anna. Even if you're watching the replay, let me know, would you be more nervous going live or being in front of people in public, like public speaking versus going live? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see. Yes, Vicky, I'm so excited. Yes, I saw that. Vicky's going to be a guest on the show because she went to edtalktv.com and filled out the guest requests. Thank you, and you're welcome. So I'm really excited. So yeah, for me, I will say speaking was a little difficult. Tammy says going live. Okay, yeah. And before I did live, I will say probably both, to be honest. Because I can get up and I can talk in front of people, I can do it. It's just, it can be a little nerve-wracking before I went live, right? Before I started doing all this live broadcasting. And while it's still nerve-wracking a little bit, because I've gone live and because we've had this show and all of these things growing in the business, you get so much more comfortable and more confident, and you just feel you can do this. You've got this, right? I'm going to read Erica's comment real quick. I just think about all the connections in the past 30 days that I've made. Yes, this is huge. And this is what I'm talking about. Whitney says, going live, I do public speaking all the time. Oh, Whitney, we got to get you on here again. I can't remember if you were live with us or I think you were just in the comments. But if you were live with us, awesome. But I think you were just in the comments and then you did your own live, if I remember correctly. But yeah, both, yeah, exactly, Mindy, right? Both, except my lives don't have hundreds of people. Yeah, well, that's the thing too, Mindy. Like my lives, at least I don't think, have hundreds of people showing up during the live broadcast. I mean, maybe in the replays and stuff, but it is weird how we can feel comfortable going either public speaking or going live, or some with both. But I will say that the more you go live, I will tell you, the more you go live, the more comfortable you feel in person doing things too. Because now you just have to know what you're talking about and just get up there, right? It is a little weird because you have people actually looking at you, which is why you have to make it a little more fun and exciting, which I'll mention something here in a second of what I did. Let me just look at the comments here. I have been in front of audiences for years. I'm fearful of going live. Oh, we need to get you on here too then. This is your time, you guys. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I say go fill out the guest request form, because you have something to share. And we can even just talk about you going live versus public speaking and why public speaking is easier for you, because that's going to help others, right? Like all that stuff, I can pretty much almost make anything work. Let me just say, I'm just saying. When I had a nurse, you had to speak a lot, yeah, and didn't like it, yeah. Speaking a lot in front of other people can, it depends. You have to know, you have to have the passion, right, for that topic or whatever to be able to just go in there and just kill it and just share what you know and get people going. Live gets easier, faster, yeah. And here's the thing, you guys, when it comes to lives, going back to Erica's comment before, not only does it grow you as a person, as your personal life, as your business, all of that, the connections that you get are crazy. It's so crazy. I'm not talking about followers. I mean, that happens too, which is great, but I'm talking about like real connections, getting you to your next client, getting you to your next project, which may not be with a client. It may be your personal project, because I know some of you are probably like, well, Ed, that's kind of the same thing. No, I meant just like you working on another project for yourself, for your business, just on your own. The connections are crazy and people notice. Now, again, you can't just show up one day and be like, okay, I went live one time for 5 minutes, I'm good. No, you have to be consistent. Like there's a formula for it, but again, you just have to start. Like that's the beginning part. So when I don't think I mentioned this the other day on the show. If I did, oh well, it's bonus, but I'm just looking at the comments again. Tried getting up to speak at church. Oh yeah, very small. And my biggest fear for both is if my kids are going to act up. Oh yeah, if you have kids, that's definitely hard. You have to think, what's going to work, what's not. And here's the thing, you guys. Right before I have to push myself, going live is my goal for this month. Boom, there you go. You're on national internet TV right now. You just put that out there. So we're going to help you get there. We're going to get you to meet your goal and exceed it. So the other day when I was having this moment before I went in front of all of these people, I realized like I was playing everything out in my head and I was trying not to get too nervous about it, and I was thinking about, okay, I'm just going to do the Facebook Live. I'm going to have somebody film it while I'm up there, because how cool would that be to have my audience there with me? It makes me feel a little more comfortable. How cool is that to have the footage and just to relive that moment, which, as you can see, I repurposed some of that on my Instagram and on my Facebook. And that keeps circulating, right? So then from there, once I got up on stage, and some of you probably saw this in the video, I tied it in. I had everyone get excited and say hello to my audience. Like I had the people in front of me, those businesses and nonprofits, over 100 of them, say hello and welcome to my audience on Facebook Live. Like, that is fun. That made it fun for everyone. It was different. It makes you stand out a little bit, right? Because let's face it, most of the people in that room probably weren't doing a Facebook Live about the event. Maybe they don't even have Facebook, or maybe they're just not the type that would say, oh, let's go live from here. Like, there's so many different situations, scenarios. So to see somebody get up, a speaker especially, get up there and tie in social media and kind of energize, bring everyone up a little bit right from the start, you're kind of like, oh, okay, this guy seems cool, like something different. Let's see what he has to say, right? So that's the kind of stuff that you want to understand. Like, you need to play out in your head. If you have time beforehand, write it out, do whatever, but like, play it out and see what can you do. And you know how you can stand out. You have to just look at, what did people before you, let's say if you're going to be public speaking at an event, well, what did the people before you do? Can you do something different? Like, for instance, I was actually going to have people stand up. I was just going to be like, let's just all stand up and like kind of shake things out a little bit, and just kind of free ourselves for a second. I wasn't going to say those words, but like, I just wanted people to stand up, just kind of get out of their seats because they had been sitting for a while. But scratch that. I didn't do that. Why? Because prior to me going up, there was a game that involved people standing up. So they already had that stretch. So then I had to think of, okay, what's the next thing that I can do? Cool, let me do this and run with it. And that's how it played out. I'm just going to see right here what Erica says. Those that know of Nicole Walters, think about the path she created just by going live, on Periscope. Look where she's at 2 years later. Yep, exactly. I'm just catching up. True, Erica. Yep, you got this. Yep, love it. Love it. Okay, so that's what I'm saying is like, test things out. That's what it's about. Testing them out, seeing what works. Like we saw on my Instagram, like, what gets people's attention? Because chances are it's usually the thing that you think of least, meaning that post of the computer on top of the books. I didn't think it was going to get any attention. I was just like, this is a cool shot. Let me just throw it up there. It got a lot of attention, and it even got a share. Like, that's cool. And so you have to just pay attention to what the comments are telling you. And like Tammy had mentioned, looking at your numbers, so that way you can tie those in together and seeing what works and what doesn't. We talked about numbers here yesterday because, remember, we had some tech glitches, so I couldn't go live. Well, I was live on my computer, and then it cut out. And then we went on the phone, and we used the Facebook Creator app, which was great. And then I noticed that while we had 10 people live, comments weren't showing up. And I thought, that's odd, because normally you guys are really commenting and engaging. I know my audience, right? Like, I know what to expect. And so I remembered that, the Facebook Creator app sometimes freezes on comments. Therefore, I have to have another device to show me the real live. And then I open it up on my computer. Boom, 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 boom. All of the comments were right there, and I was missing them, right? So that's a tip for you if you're going to do that. But also just to realize, like, you just have to test things and see what happens. You have an old pic of a dirty dishes that is still getting likes on Instagram. Yeah, exactly. See, it's weird. It's so weird. I guess maybe I should just mention before I let you go. Well, it's pouring now. I see a squirrel, but that's what life's all about. I actually really, thanks. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a really cool picture. And, some friends were like, those are really good cookbooks. I'm like, they're not mine, but cool. Thanks. I do have a couple cookbooks at home, but they're like easy ones and I haven't opened them in a while, but that's okay. So when it comes to, what was the squirrel? I know, right, Tammy? It's Friday. Who is ready for the weekend? I am so ready. So ready. I cannot wait. But what I was going to tell you had to do, with the video. So we'll probably do an episode on this because I think it was fun. But I'm going to leave you with just kind of a cliffhanger because I want you guys to think about your plan for going live. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I think you can still go live on Twitter, Periscope, all of that stuff. What I want you to think about is, obviously you need to go live, or you should go live, I should say, but start getting comfortable with practicing even just by recording yourself with your phone. Using the camera app, hitting the record button under video, record a few minutes of you just talking, you just hanging out. That is something that will make it easier when you actually jump to this part of it, right? It's one of those things that I'm trying not to give away what I did today, because I think that will be another good episode to talk about. But basically, think about how you can start, because it's just about starting, right? How can you start just getting in front of the camera? And I mean video, not taking pictures, because selfies, I'm sure you've taken them already. You're good. Now you need to work on the video. Add eyeballs to, yeah, so Tammy has this really cool product that she made. I don't know when she's going to offer it for sale, but she made this really cool webcam, and you can see it on her page, I'm sure. I think she posted it on Facebook, but she made a really cool way to make her webcam look fun and to keep eyes on the prize here, right there. So it's really cool. I'm just looking up here. Yes, since Twitter purchased Periscope. Yeah, that's what I thought, that Periscope, Twitter basically incorporates Periscope. For a minute there, I thought they had some other live thing that they were doing prior, but yeah, Periscope and Twitter are together. So that's what I want to leave you guys with, is just to start, figure out how are you going to start. Because what people want to see is they want to see you. What's going to make you stand out and be different from the competition is you. But people can't see that if you're not out there, if you're not sharing with them who you are and what you do. And I'm not just talking about your bio or your product or your service. I'm talking about you, because that's what they're buying at the end of the day. That's what they're investing in, is you. Listen, when I was back at the 9 to 5, anybody could have sold the computers that I was selling. Anybody. But I had people waiting to buy from me because they were invested in me, right? Like that's kind of a side subject from just being your business, but you get what I'm saying. Like, people want to connect with you. They want to know, like, and trust you. And then from there, they'll invest in whatever you have to offer. But you have to get out there and you have to be there for people. Yeah, right? Exactly, Chrissy. So just keep that in mind. As always, I hope that you guys have a great evening, morning for the international folks. Have a great weekend. And yeah, keep the conversation going, even if you're watching the replay. I'll take a look, Whitney, to see about the webcam covers. If they don't offer it, then I'll put in the next best thing that I find, and I'll drop a link in the comments, and then I'll add it to my shop as well for you guys. So thank you guys so much for being here on a Friday, and I'm liking this new look here. I'll watch the replay to see how it looks from your perspective, but I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for showing up, and always showing up, delivering, and engaging with each other. And have a great rest of the weekend. Take care. This episode is sponsored by Stupid Easy. Easily create, share, and sell your online courses. Discover more at stupideasy.com.